All right, welcome to OLM Deal Flow. Now this system was created so it's extremely straightforward, non-cluttered, but also powerful enough to make sure that you need everything to keep up with your seller leads and any buyers and investors that you're selling wholesale deals to. Now some of the highlights that I just wanted to go through briefly on the system is the ability to automatically create seller leads when they call in. And not only create them, but you also have the marketing campaigns attached to the lead, so you can always keep your KPIs up to date. You can also text and email seller leads right from within their lead record. You can track calls, both inbound and outbound, as well as text messaging to and from your seller leads. You can put all your seller leads or select the seller leads that you want to be put onto a follow-up sequence. And you can schedule ringless voicemails, text messages, emails, and also tasks that you want to set up for the end of the follow-up sequence. And let's say that a seller responds. They'll automatically be taken off that follow-up sequence so they don't continue to get messages because now you're maybe talking to them over the phone. On the buyers and investors, so if you have wholesale deals and you want to blast an email out to your buyers and investors for any deals that you have, you can do that easily within the system as well. Furthermore, you can track your marketing campaigns, again, keeping your KPIs always up to date, so you can figure out which marketing campaigns are your winners and which ones are your losers. So obviously you want to make sure that you really focus on the winners and reduce or eliminate the losers. You can also create trackable and non-trackable phone numbers. Now this is unique to our system, and we wanted to do this because we understand that most real estate investors have lots of phone numbers. For instance, you can have multiple phone numbers for specific lead types. So if you're marketing to, let's say, absentee owners, equity owners, driving for dollars, you might have different phone numbers for each different lead type. But you'll also have phone numbers for like your general company phone number, where you're getting calls from really anyone, not just sellers. So we wanted to make sure that we gave you trackable phone. We allow you to track certain phone numbers, and those would be the people that anytime a seller lead is going to call into, and then any other phone number that, whether or not seller leads call into, it might just be a general phone number that you don't want to track in your system. And finally, we have integrations into CallRail, Slybroadcast, and OLM Investor Hub. And really, the combination of all these integrations make this system so powerful. So let's just go through some of the general layout options that you have on Podio for those that have never been on Podio before. You can see the layout. This is the activity screen. So the activity screen is going to be the first thing that you come into when you log into OLM Deal Flow. And on the top left-hand tile, you'll see all the different team members that you have in your workspace. Right below that, you're going to see all new activity in your whole system. Okay, this is just basically an activity log. Then on the right-hand side, at the top, you're going to just see the OLM Deal Flow logo, as well as any support hyperlinks to get to video tutorials, help desk, and our Facebook page. And if you haven't already subscribed to our Facebook page, please make sure you do so you can talk to other investors in the system, so you can see how other people are kind of using the system and getting some good ideas from there. Below this, these two top tiles are going to be your KPIs, okay? You can always change, modify, delete, add additional KPIs. You would just scroll down here and just add a tile. And make sure you reference our help desk and other video tutorials, because we spent a lot of time jam-packing a lot of information there. So you really have a good, very thorough understanding of this whole system. And if there's something that you need to do, I'm sure it's going to be in there. Now, the other couple things that I wanted to point out is you have this calendar up here. So if you click on this calendar, this is going to be user-specific calendar. So all of your appointments and any tasks that you're responsible for are going to be showing there. To the right of that is going to be your tasks dashboard. So this will show you any overdue or upcoming tasks that you have to complete. So this is a great way to get a high-level view and just a view of things that you need to get done. Over on the right-hand side, you can see a search bar, so you can search anything in your workspace that you want. And then the main section is going to be your apps. Okay, these are all the different apps that are within OLM Dealflow. And if you click on this drop-down, you'll see some more apps that come down. So there are 3 types of apps. There are the apps that you're going to use pretty much every day. There are apps that you're going to use either just for setup or occasionally. And there are going to be additional apps for just history or logging information that you really don't need to do anything with. So let's go through each one of those types of apps and go through those. So I'm going to start with the apps that you really don't need to touch at all, but I just want to point them out so you have a good understanding. Starting at in-out SMS and in-out calls. These are purely logging information for inbound and outbound calls and text messages that are going through CallRail. You really never need to enter any information in here. You can always click on them, go into the app, and look at either calls or text messages historically. So you can always pull one of those up. Appointments, this is just an appointment log. You can also create appointments right from this app. However, most of the time you're going to be going into your seller leads, buyers and investors, and professional contacts apps to create appointments. You have your website leads, and this is purely just for if you set up your website and integrate it into OLM Dealflow, then anybody that goes onto your website and fills out a form, basically this is going to show you all the historical information and leads that came through your website. And finally, these 2 apps are purely just for workflow apps that you'll never really need to go into, but they are still essential for the system. Okay, next grouping of apps that you're going to be using occasionally are just for setup. Let's start with the Settings app. Settings app is set for global settings. So the first time you open up OLM Dealflow, you're likely going to go in there as the first thing to set up your global settings and also connect your integrations into CallRail, Sly Broadcast, and OLM Investor Hub. The next 2, job roles and phone numbers. Job roles, you will be recording all of your members, your team members that are part of the company, because by doing that, you're going to be able to assign them tasks and appointments so you can make sure that they're always integrated into certain seller leads or any other contacts. Phone numbers, as we mentioned before, you should record all of your phone numbers in that phone number app, whether they are for seller leads, marketing purposes, if it's a company phone number, or if it's a mobile phone number for your team members. All phone numbers should be captured in here. Okay, the next 3 apps are follow-up sequences. When you create a follow-up sequence, these are what you're going to be using to follow up with your seller leads. So you can assign seller leads to any follow-up sequences, so you continuously hit them with ringless voicemails, text messages, emails, and you can even create yourself automated task reminders to make sure you follow up with them if they haven't responded in an X period of time. So these 3 are where you're going to create the follow-up sequences. The next 2, marketing campaigns and direct mail. These 2 apps are going to be where you record your marketing campaigns. So whether it's direct mail, text messaging, email marketing, these are going to be the items that you send out prior to contacting your seller leads. So for instance, if you have direct mail campaigns where you blast out to 5,000, 10,000 prospects, you want to make sure you capture your direct mail campaigns in here, and then the individual direct mail mailers that you send out in this app. And these 2 integrate into each other, so you can have multiple marketing direct mail mailers or direct mail campaigns to one marketing campaign. So let me give you an example of that. Let's say you have an absentee campaign where you want to hit them a series of 5 different direct mail pieces. you can create your absentee campaign in the Marketing Campaigns app, and then you can have 5 individual records for the different times that you hit them with direct mail. So all of that information will filter into the Marketing Campaigns app. Also, your KPIs in Marketing Campaigns will be updated automatically once a seller calls in to a specific tracking number that's attached to your marketing campaign. So you'll know how many people are calling off what marketing campaign automatically. Okay, the next app is going to be your professional contacts. And this is where you would store anybody that is not a seller lead or a buyer and investor. So to give you an example of that, it could be an accountant and attorney, contractor, anyone like that where you're going to be working with them in your business. The next contact app is your buyers and investors. As I mentioned, this can be retail buyers or wholesale buyers, right? Other investors that might be interested in your wholesale or wholesale deals or retail deals. So this is where you store all their information. The email blast is where you can create emails and blast them out to many of your buyers and investors or all of your buyers and investors. Okay, so a very simple way to send blast emails to buyers and investors. Finally, you have your seller leads and deals. Now we broke these two out because, again, we understand that you're going to have a lot more seller leads than you are going to have deals. Okay, that's just how it works. So instead of cluttering up all of your seller leads app with seller leads and deals, we wanted to break it out so you have a very easy view of all your deals separated from your seller leads. However, the great thing about this system is that deals are automatically created based on the status of a seller lead. So if you are going through and creating a seller lead and you push them over to, you get the property under contract and click on the status under contract, by doing that, it's automatically going to create a deal item in the Deals app for you and carry over all the information from the seller lead so you don't have to duplicate off efforts and input that information again. Also, right inside the seller lead, as I mentioned, you can text, you can email particular sellers right inside their lead, and you can also look at past communications with them, whether they're calls, whether they're text messages. You can see the inbound and outbound. So everything is right there for you. So that is the full overview of the system. Again, I welcome you to look at the other resources that we have. We have lots of training videos. We have tons of help desk articles. And if you ever have an issue, we're there to help you. Just create a support ticket and we'll get right in there and make sure we fix it as soon as possible. Again, make sure you click on the Facebook group button over here and join our Facebook group so you can join the other investors that are on OLM Deal Flow.